Hello everybody, welcome to this video. We are going to be talking about how to factor polynomials using a method called grouping. Here's our agenda for this lesson. We're going to start by talking about the objective and the big overview. We get into our material, try some practice problems, and then I'll send you all off for the IXL to work on. So here's the objective. Students will factor polynomials by grouping. And remember, grouping is just a method or a technique of factoring. Our big idea, again, is polynomial functions. So here's the overview. So we're going to factor expressions of the form ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. And remember, this is actually a cubic, where it just so happens that whatever the value of a is times whatever the value of d is, it's going to equal whatever b is times c. So that's the special case that's necessary for this trick to work. Alright, so pretty much this is how it works. Here's an equation that we are going to factor. We're going to utilize something called the greatest common factors to help us factor this equation. So first we just kind of draw some parentheses here. So I put parentheses around the first two, and that takes me to there. Now notice this is the exact same thing, I just put parentheses. The reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to look at this left-hand one, and I'm going to think to myself, what is the greatest common factor that I can pull out of 7x cubed and 14x squared? What's actually going to be 7x squared? 7x squared is the biggest thing that will fit into both of those terms. So I can actually pull it out, and it comes onto the outside like this, and then whatever's left, I leave on the inside of the parentheses. So in this case, x plus 2. Now if I was to factor this back in and multiply it by each terms, I would get back to where I started. So I know that I have an equivalent expression. On the other side, x plus 2, the biggest thing that goes into that is just 1, because 1 goes into both of those, so I just pull out a 1 here. But notice, here's the key thing. These two things match, and that's what's going to help us. So here's the equation from before. Now, this x plus 2 and x plus 2 are the same. That's what I wanted. Now, what I'm actually going to do is an undistribute trick, and I'm going to pull out this, and then I'm going to take 7x squared and 1 and put those together, and then I get this, my final term. So here's x plus 2, and then 7x squared plus 1 is right there. And if I was to distribute this out, you'll see that I get the same answer. X times 7x squared is 7x cubed, x times 1 is x, 2 times 7x squared is 14x squared, and then 2 times 1 is 2. I rearrange this a little bit, and you'll see that this is the same answer that I started with. So this is what we're going for. Alright, let's try another example. So first I'm going to draw my parentheses. Now I'm going to ask a question, what is the biggest thing that I can pull out of 10v cubed and 18v squared? Well, 10 and 18 both have 2 in common, and this one has 3 v's and this has 2 v's, so they both have 2 v's in common. So I'm going to pull out 2v squared. Now, what do I need to multiply 2v squared to get 10v cubed? That's going to be 5v. What do I need to multiply 2v squared to get negative 18v squared would be negative 9. And then plus this one, the biggest thing I can just pull out is a 1. And look at that. They match up. This and this match. So I know I did it right. So then I'm going to do that undistributed trick. I'll pull 5v minus 9, and then I'll write what's left over. 2v squared plus 1. And I'm done. Alright, let's try this one. Now this one, again, start by grouping. I'm going to actually take the negative sign with it, okay, and pretend that there's now a plus sign in between there. Alright, what is the common thing between these two terms, 9rs and 18r? Well, they both have 9, right, because 9 goes into 18, and they both have an r, so I'm going to pull that out. 9r, and then what do I need to multiply by 9r to give me 9rs, which is s. And then what do I need to multiply this to give me 18r? It would be 2. Alright, then I've got a plus sign, because remember I added this plus sign here. Okay, what is the biggest thing that I can pull out of, let me erase this parenthesis. What is the biggest thing that I can pull out of negative 8s and negative 16? Well, 8 goes into both of these, so I'm going to pull out that negative 8 like this. And then what's left over? s. Now negative 16 divided by negative 8 is plus 2. Look at that, they match again. Boom. So now I'll do my undistributed trick, s plus 2 times 9r minus 8, and that's my answer. Alright, one more. Now this one's a little tricky. Notice that over here, this term has the most going on, so I actually need to put that term in the front. It's actually rearranged. So let's move that term to the front and rewrite the equation. 2m squared in minus 4m squared plus m in minus 2m. Now I could have put m in before 4m, negative 4m squared, or behind. It doesn't really matter. So the most important thing is this first term. Alright, so let's group. Draw my parentheses here. Ask the question, what is the biggest thing that these things have in common? 2 and 4 both have a 2 in common, because 2 goes into 4. They both have an m squared, so I'm going to pull that out. 2m squared. Alright, what's left over? Well, I have an n, because n times 2m squared gives me 2m squared n, and then over here would just be 2. Okay. Now this one, they both have an m in common, so I'm going to pull that out. I get n minus 2. Boom, these two things match. So I can rewrite it as n minus 2 times 2m squared plus m. And I'm done. Alright, so that's the main idea. Here is the IXL you need to do, Algebra 2, and this is I5. Practice those questions. If you need help, feel free to send me an email, or you can ask me a question during my office hours on Zoom. Best of luck.